In this video, I asked 7 pros how they practice to improve their fighting the most. Be sure to watch to the end to hear all of their responses and how I improved using what I learned from them. What's up guys, welcome to the 3rd episode of Progression to Pro. If you're new to the channel, this is a series where I show my progression as a player every week on the road to becoming a pro and share things I learned along the way to help you guys improve. I track my progress in 4 different categories: aim, mechanics, fighting, and game sense. For the rest of the season, my main focus is improving my fighting, but I'm also working on my aim and mechanics. Starting with my aim, my focus for this week was to improve my reactive tracking in KovaaKs and my long-range AR aim in game. In KovaaKs, I played 2 reactive tracking routines made by an aimer named Red. The share codes are up on the screen as well as in the description so you can check them out for yourself. I also linked a helpful video by Red breaking down reactive tracking and how you should be practicing it. I ran through both of these routines every day and played the benchmarks to see my improvement. I expected to hit the diamond benchmarks by the end of the week, and to my surprise, I didn't. Now, I did see some improvement in my scores, but not as much as I should have. I believe the reason for this was because I didn't manage my time well and only got 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Then I would get on KovaaKs and start zoning out and then just rushing through the routine because I was tired. While I thought I was improving, I was just wasting my time. There's a strong correlation between sleep and effective learning, and I was hindering myself by not getting enough sleep. Voltiac has an article breaking down the sleep theory and how sleep is important in learning and developing new skills. I'll leave the link in the description so you can check it out. Same thing goes for my long-range AR aim. I practiced it quickly and moved on to mechanics because that wasn't boring and kept me awake. This clearly needs to change as my aim is questionable enough as it is. Aim is arguably the most important skill to have, and so next week I'm going to make sure I get enough sleep and really focus on improving it instead of just running through the routines quickly. Fortunately, mechanics did not go nearly as bad as my aim. This week, my focus was improving my edit speed and crosshair placement. To work on my edit speed, I did edit timing drills in Raider's mechanics map and free built with a speed boost to force me to edit faster. For crosshair placement, I played a lot of piece control tunnels in the mechanics map because it forces you to do all different types of edits from different angles, which requires you to be very precise. I also free built on lower sense to minimize my crosshair movement while editing and building. This is what my free building looked like last week versus now. My focus for next week will be to increase the speed of my edits and incorporate more piece control practice into my free building. If you haven't watched my other 2 videos, I haven't played in any tournaments this late into the season, so I'm going to start improving my game sense with the start of the new season with lots of scrims and tournaments. However, until then, my focus is going to be on fighting. In the past 2 weeks, I've been practicing my fighting almost exclusively in arena. I could tell that I was improving because I was winning more fights, but this was mainly due to the fact that my aim and my mechanics were getting better. I would still make a lot of the same dumb edits and plays like jumping in on someone when the third party was lurking because I was impatient. With how time consuming arena could be and how little I was seeing improvement, it made me curious as to how pros practice to make their fighting so good. So I asked them, how did you practice to improve your fighting the most? The first pro I asked was CEO Mason. Mason has been catching the attention from many people in the community as one of the most underrated players right now and just made his first grand finals. He said he improved his fighting by playing creative piece control and mechanics maps, as well as zone wars and drafts. The next pro I asked was Crip. Crip is a 3-time grand finalist and has over 14k earned. He said he improved his fighting the most by playing zone wars, as well as piece control and mechanics maps. The third player I asked was Aked. While he doesn't have as many competitive achievements as the others on the list, he is still a good fighter, and this is what he said.
I practice doing myself fighting the most by arena, bro. Arena, to be honest, and also if I play creative, I'll probably do zone wars. Probably just creative in arena, but arena definitely does help with like mechanically, creative, game sense wise, and like my smartness and everything with decision making. Arena.
The next person I asked was Fuse. He has over 3k earned and streams arena daily on Twitch, and this is what he said.
How would you practice for the most? Creative and arena. Drafts are like. Drafts are good, but like, I feel like playing drafts all day doesn't help you. All the time, playing them all day doesn't help you. And playing against people who are worse than you doesn't help you either. I think playing against people who are like better than you in drafts, not all day but for like a small period of time can help. But playing it all day I don't think helps. Like, I mean, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you have good aim and know how to play angles, you could be good at fighting. You don't need like crazy mechanics, bro. Like, it's cool to have crazy mechanics and all, but like, you don't need crazy mechanics to be good at fighting. Like, you could have like mid mechanics and be good at fighting because your aim is really good, or because you just know how to take good angles. Like, Micho's mechanics were never the best, but like at one point he was like one of the best fighters in the game. He was really good at pre-fire and knew how to take good angles.
Following up on what he said about fighting better players, over 8K earned and 2x grand finalist Sparabo said he improved his fighting the most by PGing pros. The next pro I asked was 11K earned and 2x grand finalist Shadow. This is what he said.
Fighting. For me, it's mainly my aim. So what I do to like practice and like get better at fighting is I aim train. So I KovaaKs, free build, realistic PvP is not a bad one to like fight people. You know, they're pretty bad, but it's still better. Like, it's better than nothing, I guess. I feel like arena is not that good, unless you're just playing arena for fun.
Last but not least, we have 105K earned, 8x grand finalist howlfym. He said he improved his fighting the most by playing box fights, zone wars, and VOD reviewing with friends. The two main takeaways I got from the pros' answers was that I should be practicing mechanics I would use in fights by using Raiders maps and free building with the goal of improving consistency and speeds of builds that I would use in game, instead of spamming quad edits and other things that can improve your mechanics but don't help your fighting. The second thing I took from their answers was that I need to fight players better than me. It doesn't matter how much zone wars or box fights I play, if my opponent doesn't give me a challenge, I'm not going to improve. I received a lot of these answers midweek, so I only have a few days worth of implementing what I learned from them, but even after a few days of drafts and mechanics maps, I already begin to see some improvement in my fighting. Next week, I plan to continue playing piece control and mechanics maps, as well as drafts with friends that are better than me. Shout out to all the pros who took the time to answer my questions. Their links will be in the description, be sure to go check them out. The season ends in 1 week, which means my next video will also be geared towards improving my fighting. If there's anything specific you want me to cover, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to cover it in the next vid. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe if you're new, I'd really appreciate it. New videos like this every week, and you can catch me live every day at twitch.tv/howlfym. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next week.